Alright, guys, we're coming upon the time. We're coming upon that time. You know what I mean? We are coming upon the time when they got the people quoting scriptures to go to war with each other. One thing that I want you guys to like, you guys could be at war, but you're all falling short of the glory. This is what I've been trying to tell you guys, man. Many are called, few are chosen. Okay. That means all of you guys are aware, but you're not following through. Okay? You're not efficient. You guys see these words, but you don't say them right. Look, let me show you an example. I recorded a couple of clips to show you guys of people describing what I've been trying to tell you guys for so long. Let me erase this. What I've been trying to tell you guys for so long is that, like, you're only investing in you have to get to the lowest common denominator of your problems. If you don't, no matter how many problems the world presents to you to have solved or created some type of help for you, it's all a freaking lie, just to keep you in the same exact problem from discovering the root of the problem. Okay? So, I get to the root of the problem. I'm a ringer when it comes to this stuff, alright? Look. So, the point of this video, alright? I wanted to show you specifically, first off, I even stopped my game. I was in the middle of a game. I was about to fly the airplane on y'all, but anyway, let me turn that off. Go over here to John 4 and 3. 1 John 4 and 3. It says, any spirit. Let me stand up for this. I shouldn't be standing because I'm not speaking in Hebrew. I have Ruach Kokmah. I'm speaking in the blasphemous tongue of Latin, English to you guys. So I should not stand for this. I should ask for forgiveness, in fact. And that's why I'm the ringer, because I see the results. I see the outcome way before. Alright, guys. And any spirit that not confess Yasha name in the flesh has come from Yah is not, and this is that of the anti-Yah, which you heard that is coming and now in the world is already. Okay, now what do we know about the anti-Yah? What do we know about the anti-Yashaya? Because the anti-name, all right? Because look, when it says Christ, I need you to get through this to your head. You're not understanding what the name means. Specifically, it's an oxymoron and a catch-22 from what I just said just now, the words that I just said. Name, N-A-M-E, name, okay? Name. That is all that word Christ means, is name. Okay? Name. Okay? So you guys are not understanding the point of the word. So when it says the word of Yah, alright? Okay, it says, you can say the Christ of Yah, okay? Do you understand that? Do you understand that? It said in the beginning, look, when you go to first John, in the beginning, it said in the beginning was the word. No, you say in the beginning was the Christ. Okay, because the word is the name. The name of the word. Okay. Do you understand? They are one and the same. So look, this is the name. I don't know how they're trying to explain this to you guys. When it says anointed, when you anoint something, so this is what it means. A name, the word, the Most High, the way that it works is He is spiritual that creates and affects the physical. Okay? So the name creates and programs the physical. That's why everything has a name. Okay? Therefore, it is created and then it is programmed through the frequency of the power of the Christ, the name. When you anoint something, you call it. There are many that are calling, but few that are chosen. There are many names out there, but there are only few that are chosen. All right? Christened, chosen. What is name? A chosen. How do you choose somebody? You call them. How do you choose? Name. Choose is subject to name. So the name is the ultimatum. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Choose Christ. It means name. Name. Get it through your head. All right? Call somebody. That's the name. What do you call them? The name. You anointed them. This name. You christened them. This name. This is their name. Okay? What is your like that? Can you get that through your head? The name is the Ma Aseyah. It says Messiah. Okay. Now I'm gonna get this through y'all head real quick. The anointed one is the choosing process, right? The Messiah is the choosing process, right? Because they are one and the same. Okay? Why? How do you know this? Because the is one and Messiah is anointed. They are one and the same word. The is the same word as one. Messiah, it ain't even Messiah, it's Messiah, is the same thing as anointed. And it's the same thing as oil. When you mark something, okay, so look, when you separate something from something else, that is naming it. It is categorized. It is compartmentalized. It is separated. It is holy. It is anointed. It is chosen. It is christened. Okay? So when you put oil on something, it protects it from water. It has christened it from water. It is named it separate from water. Water cannot claim it. Do you understand that? Okay. You understand that? Like oil and water don't mix. Like Christos floats on water. Okay. Like Crisco floats on water, right? Crisco is oil, right? Okay. Cisco, Crisco, Christ, grease. Well, grease kind of sinks, I think. Well, grease may float. Depends on the buoyancy of the water, I suppose. Anyway, I mean the salt particulates in the water, the sediment, the mix, the energy. So look, let me let you know something. Check this out. So when I say the name, all right, to name someone, it means to name someone. So when John said, when Aseyah said, "Who do you say that I am?" and then John says, "You are the Christ," or "You are the Krios," You are the cryo, like a cryo chamber. Oh, okay. Anyway, you are the name. All right, but just to make it clear, my bad. Just to make it clear, we go back over here. All right, and it says, and any spirit that not confess Yah name, Yashaya's name, Yasha, my bad. Any spirit does not confess Yasha name in the flesh has come. Meaning, the name of Yasha has come in the flesh. This is what you guys are missing out on. That the name, his name, whose name? His name has turned from the spiritual into the physical. That the name has now chosen a physical vessel, has come. Okay, a sarkai. Okay, that is a body, is a corpse. All right, flesh, a soul. All right, so this is what this means. Now the point is, and it says it's not from, and it says if the spirit cannot confess this, what does it mean? If it can't repeat the name. All right, so that's how powerful the name is. Confess. It means verbatim. If you cannot say Yasha's name in the flesh came from Yah, then they are not, then that spirit is of the Antichrist. All right. If it came, it said, if any spirit that cannot confess Yasha's name in the flesh has not come from Yah, but has come from the Antichrist. They can't even say his name, because look, he said, I'll give you a new name. These spirits, they don't have that name. They can't say the name. So they can't, look what he said, they can't do anything new. Remember that? So remember in the Bible, because the point is that you had Legion, right? Legion called out what? Legion called out to Yeshaya. Alright? Legion called out to Yeshaya. Let's see. Legion. And Legion is English. I'm just trying to tell you guys. Legion, the Spirit Legion, the Demon Legion, this thing right here is the language English. The English language, Latin, all that. That is Legion. For they are many. They have leagues of languages. Okay? And that is what you are not seeing. Alright? in Mark. Right here, 5 and 9. And having seen Yeshua from afar, he ran and fell on his knees before him. And having cried in a voice loud, he said, "What to me and to you, Yeshua?" What? Okay, let's see who's speaking. Is it the man or is it Legion? And it's talking about a man who had a spirit in him. So maybe we go to 1. Alright. So they're near the sea, which is a water spirit. Okay. And having gone forth out of him from the boat, immediately met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. Alright. An unclean spirit, right? An unclean name. Who? An unclean language. Who? The dwelling in the tombs, who had been dwelling in the tombs, and not even with chains no longer anyone was able to bind. Nobody could stop this dude. This dude was he was Iron Man, pretty much. Even the terrorists couldn't stop him. All right? Because that he often with shackles and chains had been bound and been torn into by him. The chains and the shackles had been shattered, and no one was able him to subdue. And constantly, all night and day, in the tombs, in the mountains, he was crying out and cutting himself with stones. It almost sounds like Job. Okay? But anyway. And having seen Yeshua from afar, he ran and fell on his knees before him. And having cried in a voice loud, he said, "What to me and to you, Yeshua, Son of Yah, the Most High, I adjure you," meaning I question you, "by Yah, not me, torment. Please, by your own name, don't torment me." He was saying for him to come forth, the spirit unclean out of the man. Okay, so maybe it's Mark talking and he said, "What to me?" I don't think it's a question, but he's just saying this is what he said. Tis said, this is what he said to me and to you, Yeshua, Son of Man, the Most High, I adjure, charge, I dare you, do not harm me. Alright, do not torment me. Because he's the word, man, and Legion is a language. It's a false language. So he's like, yeah, like pretty much you're just gonna blow my cover and you're gonna Legion can only leech off of mankind. So when Yeshua came up, he is all about not confusion. Legion is about confusion. So when they came together, he said, "Hey, don't torture me," because he can't stand it. You know what I mean? He's like, so he said, "Well, you got to come out of the man, because when I come around, man's gonna understand." So he said, "All right, you got to go into the pigs," pretty much. And he said, he was saying for him to come forth in the spirit, the unclean out of the man. All right, he said, and he was asking him. So he called him by name, and that's all I really wanted to see, if he called him by name. And maybe it was the man. No, it was the man called Yeshaya, and then the man cried out to Yeshaya, and then Legion started to talk. Maybe, I guess that could have been the case. I don't know, because Yeshaya was famous by then. Everybody knew of him. All right. So let's go ahead and get back to the point of this. We're gonna go over here. Go back. All right. Going back to John. All right. And the only reason why I was looking up Legion is because Legion is somebody that is still around from today, from the old days. So obviously, it's a spirit that is of the Antichrist. And that's what I was wanting to say, is that, like, okay, like, they can't coexist. That's why he's like, oh shoot, if you're around, like, why are you even here? Because the reason why he's like, if you're here, then we can't be here, because they cannot coexist. That's why they immediately said, hey, tell us whatever you say we have to do. That's why they can't coexist, because their language is a lie. Their existence is a lie. It's law of the land. Like, this world should not exist, but since they do, it does. Okay? If they didn't exist, then this world wouldn't exist the way it does. And that's why he said sin is, you were born in sin, and if there was no sin in the world, then there would be no need for salvation to come into the world to save man. If there were not already sin, then there would be no need for salvation. But since there is sin, then salvation became flesh. Okay? Became flesh. The name became flesh. Alright? Salvation, what was saved up, became manifest. Okay, do you understand that? It's like saying you build up energy until you're ready for action. Like, it's like downloading, the downloading bar. That's that part. Once it finishes downloading, it manifests as flesh. All right, so that's what he's saying. Like, pretty much, salvation has to be necessary enough. The world is so bad that salvation is so necessary that it manifested. Meaning, so many prayers went in that Yeshaya popped out. So many innocents that Yeshaya manifested. And that's a problem. That's a real big problem. It's a very big problem, you guys. Okay, it's like it's way worse. It's multiple. Look, so let me give you an example, something so you can measure it, a scale of today's value. When they say global warming, okay, that means there's a certain temperature or terminal temperature. They say once you reach this point, you reach the point of no return. And so it's like the doomsday clock. They say, hey, If you try to maintain peace, then we can keep this from hitting 12. But once this hits 12, we probably won't be able to see it hit 12. It's just gonna be up. Time's just gonna be up. All right. It's gonna be all lined up. You know what I mean? Up and up, on the up and up. You know what I mean? The hours up and the minutes. All right? 12, both. All right? So the little hand and the big hand, up. Okay? They both agree, up. Hey, hands up. Got nothing left for you. All right? It's up. All right? So what you got to realize is that this is the word. So what they did is that they said if you say the name of the Most High enough times, the truth, then He's gonna manifest. So that it had to be the case. So they destroyed the body of people that say His name, and then they create because people are gonna run around and figure it out anyway. Because he's gonna pop up anyway, right? So what they did is that they created a counterfeit him, name, language, everything, so that it's an image that they manifest, that you worship. And if that's the case, then therefore the energy that would have went to Yeshaya goes to the energy towards this false image and light and language, tongue and everything. You totally lose like the goal. Like you don't manifest His body. His body don't manifest from you. It manifests from elsewhere. You know what I mean? Because energy is never destroyed. It's either transferred or recreated. So what it does is it manifests. He manifests in a punishing way. You know what I mean? Like I fear He manifests two different ways, one for salvation and one for punishment. All right, like the weather. One will give you your crops much needed water and save you and give you Jubilee year, and the other will wipe that out in less than 10 seconds. Okay, so it's all about the kingdom come, and it's about. Okay, He said you judge for every careless word you say. So the careless word is He's gonna manifest. He's gonna good genie, bad genie. Whatever you manifest, He's going to give it to you for good. So they're gonna trick you. They have to hack you. They have to program you by your tongue, by legion, by alliance, by lining you up, rigging you, staging you into location, time, and prophecy and peoples into doing their bidding for them. Okay, so you have all these players on stage going through this big role play, and you're dealing with like at the end of the day, you're dealing with what we call Big Brother. You're dealing with older people. We're talking by there's no comparison in age, bro, as far as flesh goes, because that's what you're dealing with. Like they're spiritual, but they manipulated flesh in masterful ways. All right, and the only way your soul is gonna survive is by grace. All right. So, and grace is John. John is grace. Okay, and salvation is Yeshaya. They are one and the same when it comes to Enoch and Yah in the Old Testament. They are one and the same as y'all call him Josiah or Yoshia. I think he's one of the sons of David as a king and a prophet in the Old Testament, and he has a son whose name is Yachanan, which is the same as Enoch and John. So these two are always in accord. Two cannot go down the same road unless they be in accord. From the beginning of the book to the end of the book, they are the left and the right page. They are together. They are 100% Janus and John Breeze, if you want to call it. They are the twins, pretty much. All right. They are the two messengers. The flesh is his message. He works. He sends his message through the flesh of man. All right. But he is not the flesh. You got to understand that. So the two fleshly figures has always been representation. One of him and one of his spirit, which is a grace. It's a graceful spirit. Salvation and grace and salvation have always been the whole book, the whole case. The two witnesses, I'm telling you. Who can be there from the beginning and who can be there from the end? Well, John tells you from the beginning, Enoch tells you from the beginning, and John tells you from the end, and they're both the same name, telling you about the same person, Yashaya. And those are the two messengers. It is Yashaya and John. Like, he is a messenger also. He is a witness unto himself when he came. That's why he said, "You see me, but you hear my Father." And the Father, and it's just like when this dude runs up, when that unclean spirit runs up, when Legion runs up to Yashaya, the man calls out. You see the man, but then when the conversation starts, you hear Legion. Ha! Do you feel me now? Do you see what I'm saying? And any spirit that does not confess Yashaya, he uses the man to call out the name of the Most High. And then when the man comes, he speaks with the Most High and said, "Please, don't torment me." And then Yashaya is like, "Oh, well, you can't be here. This ain't gonna work." You know what I mean? Now I'm gonna be here. I got stuff to do, and you just gonna have to move on up out the way. And this is a part of my ministry, and it's gonna go down like that. What I say happens permanently. It's not just some wham. And that's what happens. Like, you hear about it. It's just recorded. It doesn't go away. Just like the book of Enoch, all the way to the book of Revelations, from the beginning to the end is the same. It just doesn't go away. This is what he does. This is who he is. It's what he does. It's what he does, man. This is the whole story, and that's how he talks about the devil the same way. From the beginning to the end, they talk about him the same exact way with the same characteristics, dressing up as angels of light, dressing up in the flesh as men, and men entertaining them unawares. And what is this verse about? It's about that. Because dressing up as angels did what? Angels were dressing up as men. So you got, it's like Tropic Thunder. It's like what was it? It was a black guy pretending to be who was Robert Downey Jr. Is a black guy, a white guy pretending to be a black guy that was pretending to be some other. It was like it was layers, folds, and that's what this is. You have to, when they say read between the lines, these are folds. You gotta listen to the ruach, the spirit. The spirit is gonna vibrate completely through all these folds and show you the truth. All right, you gotta see through it, right through it. You gotta, because the spirit manifests through all the bullshit. That's what we're saying. Like, out of all the bullshit, the truth shines forth. Okay, through all this BS, and that's what we're saying. It said, and any spirit that does not confess, all right, that cannot say his name, Yashaya's name, in the flesh, has come not from Yah. Look, if the spirit can't say Yashaya's name in the flesh, so look, man, they can't even say his name because it shames the devil. It shames the devil. All right, it does. It shames the devil. 100%. And because it's his name is righteous, and they just can't do that. They can't do the righteous part. They it's not in them. They just don't. I don't know if it's probably not even they probably don't even have like some type of programming. There's some type of sin that stops them from doing it, you know. So like that governs them, like a governor chip in a car that stops the car from reaching full potential. Like when they say, oh, humans are only allowed to use, or only able to use 10% of their brain, and if they use 100% of the brain, you'd be pure energy and can do anything you want. Well, and they mock you to your face that they say that they are the trusted authorities in the world, and that is the case, period. So, and then it's all about brain control and mind power and brainwashing, and everything's meant to dopamine your brain out so that they have more use of it than you do. And then when I try to wake you up from the slumber with the truth, like I said, man, that 10% they lied to your ass about, boy, they shit, you probably down to 0.00001%. Like they got you down, like, you know what I mean? Like they lie about them numbers. They've been doing that because they bet your ass can't count. They bet on it. That's anything they say, they bet on it. They back it up with money. What are you talking about? They back it up with money. If they against you, they against you whole, all in, house and everything, kitchen sink, country. They in on your ass. All right. And you're not dealing with flesh. They will throw all the flesh at you. That's how they can offer you the world, and they're against you. You say, what profit it a man to gain the world but to lose his soul? How do you gain the world and lose your soul? I just told you. They can throw everything, the kitchen sink at you, the country, anything your heart desires, like a genie, a badass genie. And they still gonna take your flesh. They're gonna take your soul. They're gonna take your life. Alright? Because they don't really own anything. You own it. They have to trick you out of it. You know what I mean? And the point is, they've already tricked so many people out of it that, yeah, it's like a snowball. You're attracted to it, you know, or else you wouldn't cleave to it, like iron and clay. All right? And that's why they cannot let the word come out of their mouth. They cannot let Yashaya, they cannot let the name of Yashaya come out of their mouth. They cannot admit his name out of their mouth. All right? When they say, look, they can't say that Yasha is Yah, meaning they can't say Yashaya. They can't say Yashaya. That is his Christos. That is his name. That is his title. That is his anointment. That is his. He is chosen. Like he is the chosen one. Like that. Like Yah's chosen. Yah's Yashaya. To even be chosen that's what I'm saying. Like when it says something is something, it means it. Meaning, like, the name is the beginning of all things. And I'm not just talking about like I'm just talking about just the idea of NAME. Okay? To naming. When the first man came onto this earth, what was his job? Naming things. Alright? The beginning of all things was naming. Alright? Like Yah made it and he named it. And when it was named, it was saved. Okay? That was a graceful relationship. Very graceful. That was the assembly line of life. All right, that is the mold. That is the blueprint. And he said, that's what he's saying. The salvation is the name, and the name is the salvation. If you can't say that the salvation and the name is Yah in the flesh, if you can't say that, that's how you have the Trinity. Like, you know, it's like you can deny me, you can deny that the Most High is the Most High, you can deny that I'm the Son of the Most High, but if you deny the Holy Spirit, you're in trouble, because the Holy Spirit is the name. All right, the power of the name. There is no other name, no other spirit. There is no other name. There is no other chosen. There is no other anointed. There is no other. It is only by name, by grace. Well, it goes far enough to tell you that it is not by hand. He said, if you can do anything by your right hand, bro, like I will name you my name. I will name you God. He said, I will call you God and put you in my place and put you such and such. He said, if you could do that, I'll let you do it. But he knows that that's not how it works. You're not going to beat on this and get in the door. It ain't going to work like that. You have to call. It works like that. It responds like that. The kingdom is accomplished like that. Like a baby. A baby calls and there's an answer. Period. Alright? It's gonna get fed. Period. It's gonna get changed. It's gonna get service. Period. It's the blueprint. Alright? So, like, it's the mold. It's the way that the kingdom works. So that's what I've been trying to tell you guys, man. Is that, like, you're listening to so many different people say so many different perspectives of what God is and who Jesus is and the devil and the Antichrist, and you guys get caught up in these four horsemen that the gift is the curse for real. Like, just knowing about it curses you, because you don't follow through to find out the truth about it. You don't have a relationship with it. You just know of it. You know, somebody told you about it and you got their opinion on it. You didn't really do your homework. You copied off of somebody else's paper. You just lip singing. You're not really about this word. Like, you're not about, you don't understand. When he said you're not about it, like he said, Yasha is Yah. You see me, but you hear my Father. You're not him, because we see you and we don't hear him. That's the point. That's the point. We don't hear the name coming out of y'all mouth. Y'all keep saying Jesus and Christ and all this stuff, but you're not, even with all that, ever learning but never retaining. You're not, there's no sustenance. The careless words coming out of your mouth, because you figured that everybody is just gonna go along to get along, and nobody's gonna check up on it. Some of you guys, most of you guys are aware of that and are just doing that, and you guys are gonna pay, because you're fooling a whole lot of other people into thinking that it's okay to be mediocre and to fall short. It said all have fallen short of the glory of the Most High. What is the glory? His name. His name. His name is Yashaya. Yasha is Yah. They fell short because they just could not believe. But by grace alone, he came into the world and became flesh. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, pretty much you're getting your chance through him, because you didn't come in believing. You came in amniotic fluid and then just taking whatever the hell anybody said. He didn't come in amniotic fluid like that. He didn't come in like that. No, he wasn't born like that. He wasn't built like that. He is not like that. He is not like us. And that's all, and that's real. All right? And that's when it comes to our minds that the world is after. It's the same way. His mind is not like ours. It is so far ahead of ours. We are within his mind. And that's like circulation. We're within his circulation, his blood. Okay, literally, saved by the blood. All right, that's the only way. We're just in circulation, and that's a part of the body. It's a good part to be in. You know. Because at the end of the day, like I said, that's where the name is carried. And the whole body recognizes. All throughout the body, from head to toe. And that's what we're supposed to do. Carry the name. Represent the name. Salvation is Yah. Yasha. Yah. Salvation is automatic. Salvation is automatic. Salvation is automatically Yah. Okay? Because the first thing saved is the most precious thing saved. Look, man. Look. It's just... self-sacrifice, you know? Selflessness and self-sacrifice is at the end of the case. At the end of the day, like, they can't do that. They can't. If they admitted Yasha is Yah, then their father, the dragon, the devil, would destroy them. They can't do it. They already have a deal. They gained the whole world and they lost their soul. So they are not allowed to say that. They are under non-disclosure agreement, NDA. Any spirit that does not confess Yah name in the flesh has come from Yah, not, and is of the Antichrist. Alright? So this is what he's saying. This is saying any spirit that cannot say Yasha's name in the flesh, like if they can't speak his name in the flesh through their mouth, out of their mouth, if they cannot confess that in the flesh, if they can't, I don't know if it can be written, they could probably write it. If they can't write it with their flesh, then that flesh, that spirit, what's inside of them, motivating them, is not from the Most High. And that's what you got to understand. That's what he's saying. He's saying how can you judge what you're looking at physically? How can you judge what you can't see physically by the physical, by the limits of the physical object? If the physical object cannot compute, then it is not authentic. It is not authorized. It has no power. Authority is power. Authority is prayer. Prayer is power. Okay. Just letting you know. Alright? And power in the sense of the word is not really what we think it is. Like I said, you have to go look up words in Hebrew to figure out what you're saying, you know, and what you would like to say. You figure out what you're saying in English by taking a word, starting with that letter that it starts with, and then trying to match up Hebrew words with the pronunciation of that word. And then once you find that, you found out where that word comes from. And then another way is, how do you want to know what you're saying, is by, if you have a word and don't understand what it means, then look up a meaning in Hebrew and then go look up that word in Hebrew, and then you'll kind of notice that what you're saying in English has an altered meaning. All right, I'm out of here. To the Rabbi Hayashar Hayat Kadosh Kadash Kadesh, to the Rabbi Shai Kadesh Kadash Kadosh, to the Rabbi Ahebru Kak Ma Aseyah Kadosh Kadash Kadesh, Anami Amen.